as you can see, there's a little notch in this piece here. What piece is this again? I don't know. Goes this way. That is F8. So there's a... Welcome back to the Workbench, where we try to make things. And what we're continuing to try to make today is KE's Gothic Castle Book Nook. Now, they were nice enough to send this over to us so we could take a look at it, build it together. And in fact, if you'd like to build along with us, there's a link down in the description where you can get your own. But we have made it to step 3. So we're about to start on step 3 here. Let's just take a quick look at what we've got so far. I'm gonna have to probably lay this down. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can see a little better. But basically, we got the body of the book nook done and the top, there it is. And then we've also got the kind of batwing looking hinges started, where this book nook will actually open up into kind of a full display. But anyways, let's set this aside for now, because we're gonna start working on step 3, which is kind of a whole new structure, I guess you could say. Now, I've looked at this prior to starting filming here, and I think the first thing we need to do is take our D10, and then we've got C5, C4, and C19, and they're going to glue up right into these little white spots here. So what I think I'll do is just take some of my white glue and just dot a little bit of glue on here. If I can get it to flow, there we go. Come on, give me a little white glue. There we go. And this is just tacky glue. It's kind of my favorite white glue, I guess. But whatever you like to use will probably do the job. And then we had, what were the numbers I said? So we have C5, C4, and then C19, which is this guy here. And they're kind of just, I guess, a couple of paintings, pretty spooky looking paintings, I would say. And then a even spookier bookshelf. But let's go ahead and get these in place like so that they start gluing up. Yeah, we're just going to glue them here. And by gluing these on, it just gives it some dimension, which is kind of cool. Let's make sure, I'm going to slide that around just a little bit, get some glue spread around. This one's not wanting to stick up. Let's try again. A little extra glue on this one for some reason. Just like so. There we go. I think that should do the trick. And the main thing is just covering up the white spot and making sure we're nice and straight. Everything's how it should be, just like so. Okay, so I think we'll let that kind of glue up a little bit. And then let's see what else we've got going here. So I guess basically we just have these 3 pieces, which what do we have? This is E3. The one in the middle is C2. And then this guy is C1. And how do they connect with these little, what is the actual number on these? F6, these little kind of peg pieces. Let's see. Some come from the back and some come from the front. So I want to make sure and do this correctly. It looks like this one gets pegged in from the front, which is going to be there, right? Yeah, that's what it looks like. These two, we've got 2 here and then 4 in the back. I'm trying to see. So yeah, the 2 up front are here. Okay. So what I'll do, or I think what we'll do is go ahead and put them through these pieces first. Being a little bit careful. We got our handy little hammer if we need it. In fact, you know what we'll do? Slide the instructions a little bit. Let me pull this over. Is this where you guys can see? Yeah, I'm going to just put it on the table like so. And then we got to get lined up. You know what? Yeah, we're going to need to get this. We're going to need to get that started a little bit before it'll work. Okay, there's one, and then this one here. There we go. That gets it started. And let's see if we can start getting it through. And once we get it through there a little bit, we can put it on. There we go. If you use something in the back to help, it kind of hammers in pretty easy. We just got to find the hole for it to go in. I don't think I'm hitting it. I think that's, feels like it. There it is. There we go. Okay, so that's got that guy in. Now, I hate to do too much with these still gluing up. See, that one moved. Probably should have used some CA glue just for the fact that we needed this to glue up a little faster. Because I'm going to need to do these from the back side. Yeah. I wonder if I can just throw some CA glue on these just so we can get moving ahead. Where's my CA glue? Where did I put it? I have it here somewhere. Here it is, back behind. In fact, it's some Starbond CA glue. If you want some good CA glue, there's a discount on Starbond CA glue down in the description. So what I'll do is I'll just put a kind of a dot of CA glue on either side like so, and then put it right back in, and the CA glue will cure quickly, and then the white glue we have on here will also help hold the piece. I just want to get this CA'd in place because we don't have time to wait on the white glue to dry. If you want, you can just use the white glue. Just let it dry up, because what we're going to have to do is flip this over upside down to get the ones in on the back side. And I don't want to be knocking these pieces loose. So just some CA will do the trick, I think. Just like that. And then like so. And then probably can just give just a little pressure just for, usually takes about 15 seconds, I think is what it says on the required for the CA glue. Like 15 seconds of pressure, and that should cure for us. We'll give it just a second anyways. Are these, yeah, they're already kind of locking in place. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at what we are going to need to do. Are these marked on the back? No, they're not. Are they marked on the, yeah, here we go. Look, so they marked these. So if you look closely, you can see here it says F6 back, F6 back, F6 back, F6 back. So we know where those need to go. So we can go ahead and start putting those in. So F6 back, F6 back. I like how that's pretty, I like how they did that. That's nice. And these are actually fitting pretty well. Yeah, so like that. And then this hole here. Let me make sure I get the right hole. Here we go. Like that. And then what's the two top ones here. Here we go. These are actually fitting in a little bit easier than the first two. This one here, they go in by hand pretty easily. There we go. Okay. So again, with that CA glue, well, that one still moved. They still moved a little bit, or maybe I just didn't get them put in place. But that should hold those. Now, I guess what we can do is just use the table to hold those pieces in, and then this guy goes here. Be a little bit careful. I don't want anything to break. There we go. That pushed on pretty nicely. Yep. Okay, and then just the two up top here. Oh, it's holding this. There we go. Yeah, that worked pretty good. That worked pretty easy. Okay, nice. So there we got the start of, I guess what's essentially a couple walls. I think there's going to be 2 stories here. I think. I'm not for sure. We'll find out. But we need B17. That's our last piece for this step. It's going to go here, and then this fits in. Can we see? It's hard to read. They've actually got the stuff printed on here, but it's hard to read. So I'll just use the instructions. It's going to use that tab there and this tab here. So just make sure and hit this tab in this radius here for this guy to go in, just like that. Okay, so that's kind of, I guess, the start of a wall. Let me slide this out of the way. Let me slide it out back here. You guys can't even see it anymore. And then now what we got to do is start building this piece, which is going to be, yeah, it's going to be the kind of the thickness of that floor. Okay, so let's get, I think we'll start with, what is this, B13 kind of laying on the bottom here. That's this piece here. And then we'll build off of that. And what's going to be, Do they give us an order of operation? Not really. So let's just try to think this one through a little bit. I think we can probably build out this little front wall, which uses this guy goes here. And by this guy, I mean F3 goes right there. And then this one is F8, which is this other kind of skull deal. It's going to go here. And then these two should tab together. There we go, like that. Make sure we're all the way in, like so. And then we got C3, which is this one. I think it has, what does it say on it? It says Gothic Castle on it. It goes, yeah, okay, I had to double check over here because it shows it going here and then kind of just hanging out, and that's exactly what it does. So it's going to go in right here, like so. Like that. Okay. Nice. And then we've got an F13, which is this guy, which is going to be the button repress. But I need to figure out how this is going to work. So this is our on-off button, which is going to pretty simply go right here. But we need to figure out, well, one, I need to figure out how that fits in there. That doesn't, is it supposed to overlap like that? Oh, it does. Okay, again, looking at the finished piece over here, see how it underlaps, I guess you should say. This piece overlaps it. So that is correct. But then we've got this guy here. This is the little pad. Is it gonna, I think it's gonna stick, I think we're gonna stick this on here and then stick this is the actual sensor button, I guess you would say. I think it's gonna stick on the other side. Is that what, I mean, I think that's what I'm seeing. Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at. It's what I'm seeing right here, and then the wires are going to run back and through whatever piece that is, F10. I think that's what we're going to do. Let me pull one side of this. I think both sides of this is going to be sticky, right? Let me make sure that's the case. Yeah. Okay, so what I think we're going to do is stick one side here, and then the other side, I guess we need to, there you go. I guess we need to kind of stick it right behind our little power button logo. I would have to assume. Yeah, I'm just looking, again, I'm looking ahead, and that's what, I mean, I guess we just try and hit, I guess that's going to work somehow. The magic of modern technology. I guess that goes there, and then we're going to pull those wires back that way somewhere, but let's go ahead and just put this piece in. It goes like that. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to have the wall that these wires run behind, which is this one here, which is F10. So this goes in here like so, and then these two fit together. Did that? Oh no, that doesn't have it. Okay, no, it just goes just like that. Okay, nice. And then we have this piece goes this way, which this piece is F1. The brick wall is going to be the kind of the outside part of this, but it looks like these wires are supposed to come through this hole in F10 here at the end here. They're going to come in through here. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. So they kind of weave their way into that, and then this guy, let's make sure we put it in the correct direction. This guy is going to enclose the wires. Make sure, in fact, let me just turn it. I don't know why I'm working on the hard way. Just turn it around here. It's going to go in here. It might make more sense. Yeah, see, I just tucked that in under there. It might make more sense to put the wires in after you've done the little hallway for it here. Because I am pinching this black wire. Can I get it out of there? Let me see, did that? You know what? Let's just do this. I'm going to pull the wires up a little bit like so. Get that in place and then put these back through. And there's a little, make sure you can see, there's a little notch in this piece here. What piece is this again? I don't know. Goes this way. That is F8. So there's a notch here in F. Make sure you can see what I'm talking about. In FH, that those wires will kind of enter this little, we'll call it a hallway, I guess, to keep them kind of in place, and then these will pull through like so. Yeah, and that'll keep them routed in that way. Yeah, that worked okay. I think that worked okay doing it that way. So then we have B10, which is this guy. I'm assuming that's... Yeah, we have... Where do these wires... These wires just kind of go... Yeah, this way. So we have B10 that goes here. Make sure you can see it goes here. Let's put that together like so. And then we have an acrylic piece, which this is H3. All our acrylic pieces are H3. So this is, I'm assuming it's translucent. And it goes right, it's kind of weird, strange. It goes right, does it go, I don't know which way, does it go blue side out? I guess it, well, no, it could go white side out too. I wonder which way that's, I wonder which way it's supposed to go. I wonder which way the blue is supposed to face. Is it supposed to, do you guys follow? I don't know if it goes this way or if it goes this way. Oh, it fit better that way. It slid right in. I think it probably goes like that is my assumption. Now we all know what assuming does, but I think that's probably how this goes. Okay. And then now we just need to take what we were calling, what was called 3A. So what we built earlier, and we're going to set it right on top here, which this is going to have probably a ton of different tabs that are going to have to be lined up. And sometimes this can be a little bit of a chore just because you got to get a ton of different things lined up along with this little acrylic piece that already came loose. I think that's the right way that it's going. I hope so. The acrylic piece, that is. Where is, okay, we got to make sure and get that acrylic piece in. So again, just take your time and slowly, line up all the different tabs. Where is this? What tabs do we have? Oh, it's just down here. Okay. There we go. That one. I'm having to try to see where we actually even have tabs there. And what's not lining up is down here, I think. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that off. It makes sense to me to just take that off and then just work it this way. Oops. I don't know if that was a good sound or not. Okay, so we've got, you know what I'm going to look at too before we start doing this? I got tabs here, this area, and then we've got 3 here. So, okay, let me start with these 3 over here. Yeah, like that. I think that was the game plan. And then let's get these guys. There we go. Now we're starting to make some progress. There we go. Okay. And that got them all. So that, again, just always a little bit of pre-planning goes a long ways. And only problem is I lost the I lost the acrylic piece here, which I hope I'm putting in the right way to begin with. I can probably just kind of bend it in there. There we go. Yep. I'm assuming that's going to kind of just hide a little bit of something right there, like so. So that goes like that. And then now we can put this guy back on. And then that's got... I guess this, we'll call it a wall. We got this wall finished up. That's just how that goes. Let me set it aside and we'll look at what's coming next. So next we're going to build out, it looks like stuff on the back of this wall. So we're going to continue working on this wall. I think we're running out of time for today. We'll end up doing this tomorrow. But I always like to take a quick look. Okay, yeah, tomorrow we're going to be putting in another LED light. So we'll have to put that in and then some pieces. And then what do we have moving forward from there? Oh, just a whole bunch more building out this wall. So what I'll do in between episodes, I'll get all this. And then I think I'll go ahead and get all the pieces probably, I think all the way through this page. I'll try to get all these pieces broken out, pulled out, sorted so that we have those ready to go tomorrow. That way we can make as much progress as possible tomorrow. But I think this was pretty good progress today. Nice and easy. I like those kind of days. The wood stuff in this kit has been very straightforward, very easy. Also, I would like to point out, very well printed. Like, I love the imagery. It's really cool. A lot of this looks, I just find it looks really good. But anyways, yeah, the wood stuff's been super easy. I appreciate that. But we will get back together tomorrow and continue working on this wall. Join me then if you would. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like button down below. Leave me your comments down in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think so far? Are you building along? I know there's one. I'm assuming you're from France. I'm gonna have to assume you're from France who's following along. Thank you so much. Thank you for the comments and the kind words. I really do appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all those things you do on YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
This night, you gotta find